Right now, on this special edition of 13 Action News, a man is dead after trying to save his family pets in a house fire. It happened just before midnight in a neighborhood near Sand Hill and Flamingo. That's where we find 13 Action News reporter Nina Porciuncola. Nina?
Tom, neighbors told us last night this entire block was filled with thick white smoke coming from this house. As you can see right now, it has been boarded up. Overnight, fire crews had to fight their way in because of the volume of flames and smoke. Witnesses told firefighters they saw a man who had escaped the fire run back inside the house to try and save their pets. Investigators say the man and the family pets died on scene. Now, as to what caused that fire, we still do not have that information. Investigators still working to figure that out. And as soon as we have that information and more updates, we will bring them to you. For now, reporting live, Nina Porciuncola, 13 Action News.
A tense moment for Nellis Air Force Base this morning. Military officials say a Royal Australian Air Force aircraft had to abort its takeoff and then caught fire. Chopper 13 was fast and first over the Air Force Base today. We're told no one was hurt. Emergency services were on the scene much of the afternoon. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. Casino mogul Steve Wynn has officially resigned as the Republican Party's finance chairman. This comes in the wake of sexual harassment allegations against him. Wynn has been a well-known Republican donor and led the RNC's fundraising efforts during President Trump's first year in office. We first told you yesterday the Wall Street Journal reported a number of women said that they were harassed or assaulted by Wynn.
He was actually chasing one of the managers around and she locked herself in bed and would not come out.
Now, that incident, according to former employee Jorgen Nielsen, was one of many he claims to have witnessed during the 15 years that he worked for Wynn. Wynn has denied all the allegations and has put the source of the scandal on his ex-wife. New tonight, hundreds lined up at the Lucky Dragon today for their chance to win some money. Vital Vegas reports gaming regulations require casinos that close to give away their jackpots. That meant some Lucky Dragon Club card holders had a chance to win part of a prize pool worth just over $46,000. The first winner got just over $11,000 in cash, and 7 more each got $5,000. An inmate is back behind bars tonight after he was caught in Summerlin. Jeffrey Pimental escaped from a minimum security camp about 30 miles north of Las Vegas last weekend. Pimental is serving time for battery with a deadly weapon. He now faces additional charges. And a man is behind bars tonight after allegedly shooting his wife and stepdaughter in the face. It happened just after 11 this morning at the Latigo apartment complex near Silverado Ranch in Eastern. The man originally ran off but then turned himself in this afternoon. Both mother and daughter were shot multiple times but are expected to survive. Metro says that just yesterday officers were called to the complex due to some sort of incident between the husband and wife. The man is facing 2 charges of attempted murder with a firearm. 3 suspects are on the loose after robbing a jewelry store this morning near Craig and Decatur. Metro says the suspects entered the store and attempted to break open the glass counters with hammers, but when they failed, police say they shot the glass. Police haven't released any descriptions of those suspects. Well, right now you're looking at the current temperatures across the valley, most of us hovering in the 50s. We want to go straight to 13 First Alert meteorologist Carla Welga to see if we'll see some similar temperatures through the week or if we're warming up.
Well, yeah, similar, but even better if you like the warmer temperatures. Today, nice and normal. We were very close to the average of 59 degrees. We topped out the day 61. That was the official high at McCarran. The record 73 degrees, 1971. I have some numbers that look like this on your 7-day planner, which of course I'll show you a little bit later in the show. Right now, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Nellis Air Force Base at 49 degrees, Henderson 45, Green Valley at 54, and McCarran coming in at 53 degrees. Rest of the evening a little chilly, but the winds will be light and we'll see clearing skies in the overnight hours. But the breeze is actually going to make a comeback tomorrow. So I'll tell you how breezy it'll be in your neighborhood and how warm it'll be in your neighborhood on Sunday and the rest of the week in your 13 First Alert forecast.
All right, thanks, Carla. Well, there was a dangerous rescue in Malibu last night. Emergency crews worked in pitch black conditions to hoist a man after his car went over a cliff. It all started with a 2-car crash near Pacific Coast Highway. 1 car overturned, the other went down the cliff about 100 feet. 2 people were trapped in the car down in the canyon. 1 was airlifted to the hospital. No word on their conditions. Well, it's been weeks since those deadly mudslides in Southern California. Fire officials are now releasing chilling 911 calls the morning debris barreled into homes. Take a listen.
Get ready to go out. Wake Dad up.
I don't know that they're safe.
I know that we lost our dog.
Yeah, hi. I just got an email from my son and my ex-husband who seem to be trapped in their house, East Valley, and I don't know who to call.
More than 100 homes were destroyed in the mudslides and at least 21 people were killed. 2 people remain missing, a 2-year-old girl and a 17-year-old boy. Now to news on the flu. 16 people in Clark County have died from the flu, including 3 children. Across the United States, the number of people infected with the virus is up. 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter joins us with the latest from the CDC.
Disturbing new numbers from the Center for Disease Control on the flu epidemic sweeping across all of the United States except Hawaii. So far, 37 children have died from the virus. Health experts estimate the actual number may be twice that.
We know that about half of those pediatric deaths have no underlying medical conditions, so they are otherwise healthy children.
But most of the affected children may not have been vaccinated.
In the past, 80% of pediatric deaths are occurring in children who did not get the vaccine. It is still not too late to get vaccinated.
That urgent request going out across the country, including Connecticut, holding free and low-cost flu shot clinics Saturday.
Get vaccinated. Get your entire family vaccinated.
The call to vaccinate coming too late for Craig Childress, a 33-year-old father from Tennessee.
He didn't go to the doctor. He thought he could tough it out, I guess. He didn't get the flu shot this year.
Doctors stress that it is still rare for healthy people to succumb to the flu.
The majority are in people with chronic medical conditions.
The high-risk group includes pregnant women, people 65 or older, patients with a weakened immune system, or chronic medical conditions. Austin Carter, 13 Action News.
Not only do doctors urge families to get the flu shot this year, your winter clothing also needs to be kept clean. Scientists say bacteria and germs can build up on your clothes and make you sick. Experts say wash your gloves every 4 weeks. For scarves, wash them at least once a month. And for those winter coats and sweaters, they should be cleaned at least 3 times during the winter season. There was a low turnout for CCSD's final input meeting at Silverado Ranch High School as the district continues its search for their next superintendent. About 20 people filled the bleachers in the school's gym this morning. The meeting was all part of an effort for the district to hear from the community on who they want to lead the district. Many acknowledge the meeting's low turnout, but they say they're speaking for those who couldn't attend. They say they just want someone who will bring hope and not jump ship.
And I want somebody who wants to come here and who wants to be here for a long time. I mean, I want a superintendent that wants to make change, that has a vision for our school district, that wants to be here, wants to grow old here.
Now, if you weren't able to come out to any of those meetings, CCSD has an online survey posted that will be available until Monday. We have a link for you to that survey on our website at ktnv.com. Now to a 13 Action News update. 2 men pleaded guilty to killing an extremely rare pupfish at Devil's Hole in Death Valley. They're accused of breaking through a fence in 2016 to party, firing at least 10 shots and then leaving beer cans all over the place. They could face up to a year in prison. A 3rd man is charged with the destruction of government property. Devil's Hole is the only natural habitat of the critically endangered Devil's Hole pupfish. There were only 115 pupfish in Devil's Hole in the most recent survey. A shallow, sunlit shelf provides most of the fish's food and is the only place that they can lay eggs. It's considered the smallest natural habitat of any vertebrate species on the planet. And a family is without a home after a fire ripped through their garage. This happened last night near Kyle Canyon in the 95. When firefighters arrived, 2 cars were already fully engulfed. Investigators say they managed to keep the fire from spreading into the home. 2 adults and 5 children are being assisted by the American Red Cross. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The fallout continues over the sex abuse scandal involving a former USA Gymnastics doctor. What Michigan state officials are doing now to make sure changes are being made. Plus, we're always on the lookout for freebies or perks, but when it comes to travel reward cards, is it really worth it? We have tips on how to pick out the best program for you. And of course, count on Chopper 13 to bring you breaking news fast and first. Stay with us. Welcome back. The fallout from the sex abuse scandal involving former USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar deepens. His former employer, Michigan State, is now becoming a focal point. And as ABC's Daria Albinger explains, a new player in the investigation could lead to sweeping changes at the university.
We will put a bright light at every corner of the university.
Michigan's Attorney General announcing a special counsel to probe what Michigan state officials knew about Larry Nassar's activities.
We will meet with every victim. We will listen to them.
That special counsel headed by Bill Forsyth, a former prosecutor, the investigation putting MSU's board members under increased scrutiny.
We're awful sorry for the trouble we've caused those poor women.
Overnight, hundreds of demonstrators rallying in support of the more than 150 young girls, teens, and college students sexually abused by Nassar, who was a physician for the athletic department at MSU for 20 years.
I have experienced flashback nightmares of the abuse.
Some of the survivors of Nassar's abuse sitting down with 2020's Elizabeth Vargas.
There were at least 17 officials at MSU in some capacity, whether coaches, trainers, or at least 3 psychologists who received reports of what Larry was doing. Not a single one of them reported. Not one.
The entire U.S. Gymnastics Board, ordered by the Olympic Committee to resign, says it will do so. Authorities in Texas also say they're investigating the team's former training facility run by powerhouse husband and wife team Bella and Marta Caroli. It's there many of the girls claim they were sexually abused under the pretense of medical treatment. Daria Albinger, ABC News, New York.
Michigan's lieutenant governor has called on Michigan State University to establish a fund to compensate victims of Larry Nassar's sexual abuse. He also says Michigan State's attorneys should stop fighting lawsuits filed by the victims and should instead move to settle them. The man who shot and killed former NFL player Joe McKnight has been found guilty of manslaughter. The jury returned the verdict against Ronald Gasser yesterday. The shooting happened during a road rage incident in 2016 in New Orleans and sparked outrage in the community. Prosecutors told jurors the evidence shows Gasser angrily pursued McKnight and shot him from inside his own car. Well, we're a week away from Super Bowl 52, and Minneapolis is ready for some company and the chance to show the world how to embrace the cold. The city is hosting a 10-day festival ahead of next week's big game. Downtown is transformed into an elaborate playground for winter enthusiasts. People can try popular winter sports like cross-country skiing and snow tubing. There's even a virtual reality experience that acts as a warming tent.
It does feel extra. It's beautiful. Minneapolis really went out and they went nice. So Philadelphia, welcome. I can't wait to meet the East Coast and let them see what Minnesota has to offer.
The New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles will square off Sunday, February 4th, so you might want to start making your Super Bowl plans early. There are plenty of options to watch the game right here in the Valley. We have a running list for you on our website at ktnv.com. Well, daydreaming about being on a beach somewhere or maybe traveling to the Super Bowl? Well, join the club, but you should try and open a travel rewards credit card to help pay for your trip. Mary Maloney gives tips on travel rewards programs.
Think you could get a free trip out of a travel rewards card? You're not the only one. According to credit card analysts at Value Penguin, since 2012, searches for travel rewards cards in the first month of the year shot up at least 50%. And this year, analysts say even more searches are being conducted. Travel cards can come with glamorous perks like free nights at hotels, credits for flights, and access to airport lounges. But just because you get the card doesn't mean you'll get a free ride. The Chase Sapphire Reserve has an annual fee of $450, and the American Express Platinum's yearly rate is $550. Look at your spending and see if the benefits outweigh an annual cost. There are cards that have no annual fee, like the Discover It Miles card, but the perks may not be as attractive. Also, no spending requirements before you sign up. According to a study by U.S. News, more than half of people with travel rewards cards carried a balance in the past year, meaning debt. Be honest with yourself about your budget and plans to see if a travel card is worth the reward. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
13 Action News is teaming up with Nevada Job Connect to let you know about employment opportunities around the Valley. There's an opening for a computer numerical control programmer. You need at least 5 years experience in a similar role. There's also an opening for maintenance mechanics, and you need 1 year of experience at least. And an opening for a marketing coordinator. Pay starts at $9 an hour. For more information on these jobs and other openings around the Valley, just go to ktnv.com/jobs. Metro is investigating their second officer-involved shooting in just 24 hours. It happened last night near Oakey and Las Vegas Boulevard after reports of a man waving a gun in the air. Authorities tried to tell the man to put the gun down, but he ran away. Police then say he pointed the gun towards officers, and that's when they fired. That suspect is expected to survive.
Now, 13 First Alert weather.
Well, in the past 7 days, we haven't deviated terribly far from seasonal national averages. The most we went is 64 degrees this past Thursday. We ran very close to average Friday, exactly at average on Friday. And then Saturday, which was today, just 2 degrees above average for this time of year. But those numbers are going up. We're going to be running about 10 to 11 degrees above average over the next several days. Averages are 59 on Sunday and Monday and 60 on Tuesday and Wednesday. So yes, that's exactly what that means. We are going to have highs in the 70s on your 7-day planner, which I'll show you in just a few seconds here. Satellite radar composite, very clear arc here of high pressure that is building over the area, and that will be the dominant feature for us over the next several days and for most of the week. In fact, there's 13 first alert desert Doppler. Still some high cloud cover over the area, but we should see some of that clear out overnight. So there's that ridge of high pressure. We're going to pick up a little bit of a breeze tomorrow out of the north. I'll show you that wind planner in just a few seconds, but high pressure will continue to be the dominant feature. There will be systems that will try to approach the area, but they'll get blocked by high pressure, so they're just going to be passing to our north and really not going to affect us. So that means temperatures will continue to be quite warm. So there are your breezes for tomorrow. The numbers don't look terribly impressive. We are going to see sustained wind speeds between about 5 and 15 miles per hour, but because they're coming in out of the north, these produce a little bit more of a breezy condition than if they were moving in out of the southwest. So if you're in North Las Vegas, you could see a gust to about 25 miles per hour, maybe 30, but I think mostly it's going to stay closer to 25. And then on Monday, the breezes will be gone and the winds will be very, very light Tuesday, Wednesday, and for the rest of the week. Temperatures right now in the 50s, but some spots already down into the 40s. Take a look at the Henderson Executive Airport, 45 degrees there, 51 in North Las Vegas. Winds very, very light. Again, that's going to change a little bit for tomorrow. Temperatures overnight generally in the low to mid 40s, 45 for central portions of the valley. Anthem at 41, Henderson at 43 degrees, just like Boulder City and Summerlin at 41 degrees. For tomorrow, take a look at these numbers. Some 70s peppered in with mainly upper 60s, North Las Vegas, central portions of the valley, 69 degrees, Centennial Hills at 68, Summerlin at 65, our usual cool spot. And here we have some 70s in Henderson and down in portions of the southwest. If you're doing anything outdoors tomorrow, going to be a beautiful day. However, Lake Mead, going to see some breezes out there. There is a wind advisory through the afternoon hours, so note that wind speed out of the northeast at 14 miles per hour if you plan to do any boating for tomorrow. So there's your 13 first alert 7-day planner. Very light breezes tomorrow, and then the winds die down. We're close to the 70-degree mark for the remainder of your 7-day planner, and that lasts all the way through the beginning of next weekend. Saturday, 69 degrees, so very consistent and beautiful temperatures for this time of year. Tom?
70s, that's what I like to see. Thanks, Carla. Well, they've safely sent a man back up to the moon and back home to planet Earth. Now, these historic mission control flight consoles are on a journey of their own. Welcome back. A massive restoration effort is underway in Texas to refurbish the NASA mission control consoles used in the first moon landings. As Ryan Korsgaard reports, the multi-million-dollar project will restore the consoles to the condition they were used in when astronauts first landed on the moon.
3, 2, 1.
We have liftoff of these historic mission control flight consoles. They safely guided man to the moon and back home. Now they're headed to Kansas for restoration.
I'm keeping an eye to make sure that everybody is doing everything historically accurate.
Adam Graves of North Texas will make sure everything in this room is safely moved and then returned. When the work is finished, mission control will look like it did when we landed on the moon nearly 50 years ago.
I know when I walk in the door, I feel special. You know, I feel like something very important happened here. I don't want to touch anything. I don't feel worthy.
He wants the Johnson Space Center visitors to understand the significance. Space Center Houston has raised $4 of the needed $5 million for this project.
This space is fallen into some disrepair over the years. It's one of the most popular attractions when people visit Space Center Houston, and we take them behind the scenes here at Johnson Space Center.
So this is the gallery overlooking mission control, where the families would sit during the launches. He said this really hasn't changed, especially the upholstery. It's original. So they're going to take it off, clean it, and put it right back.
So when guests come to visit, you're going to be sitting in the actual seats that family members and officials sat in to observe our lunar program.
Really cool. That was Ryan Korsgaard reporting. The project is scheduled for completion by July of 2019, just in time for the moon landing's 50th anniversary. Replacing the irreplaceable. We'll introduce you to a Nevada man building prosthetics in a whole new way, how he's helping people walk again. An Illinois senator is about to become a mother for the second time, but it's what she's doing in politics that's making history. And don't forget to download KTNV Mobile. It's in the App Store and in Google Play. It's free and lets you watch 13 Action News video anywhere you have mobile service. Now to the deepening mystery over the violent death of a billionaire married couple. At first, there was speculation that this was a murder-suicide, but now police are calling it something different. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with the new chilling details.
This morning, police now calling the mysterious deaths of one of the world's wealthiest couples a double homicide.
I'm saying that the Shermans were targeted in this event.
The case initially sparking questions of a murder-suicide. Authorities now saying billionaires Honey and Barry Sherman were both murdered. Their Toronto estate turned crime scene.
They figured out it was a double murder because of the manner and method of how they died, and that they had ligature marks on their wrists, which suggests they were tied up before they were killed.
The couple found dead in mid-December by a real estate agent preparing for an open house at their sprawling 3-story, $7 million mansion.
Hanging by belts from a poolside railing in a semi-seated position on the pool deck. They were wearing their clothing.
Homicide detectives keeping a tight lid on their investigation.
I'm not going to discuss any motives.
But Friday giving this clue about a possible lead.
A person is outstanding for this offense.
The Shermans had built a $3.2 billion pharmaceutical empire.
When we started Apotex in 1974, almost 40 years ago,
Philanthropist known for giving tens of millions to charity.
Just wanted to help make sure that future generations would have a place that they could call home.
Their children convinced from the outset their parents were both victims, ordering an independent autopsy, and now saying the announcement by the Toronto Police Service that the tragic deaths of their parents are being investigated as a double homicide was anticipated.
That was Ariel Reshef reporting on Friday. The CEO pharma company founded by Barry Sherman resigned. A spokesperson says Dr. Jeremy Desai resigned, quote, to pursue other opportunities, and that this is completely unrelated to the update on the police investigation provided. Average monthly occupancy rates for the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. are lower than the industry standard. This is according to CNN. The data showed that the hotel, which is just a few blocks away from the White House, had an average monthly occupancy rate of about 50% in 2017. That's about a third below the industry average for luxury hotels in the area. Trump International charges about 40% more per night than the average rate at those same luxury hotels. A senator from Illinois is changing the way women work in politics. Tammy Duckworth would become the first senator to give birth while in office. Craig Wall talks with her about her pregnancy struggles as she prepares to give birth this spring.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. I initially, had all of the classic symptoms, heartburn, all of that good stuff, but I'm in a great place right now.
49-year-old Tammy Duckworth is due with her second child in April, but her journey to being a mom, first with Abigail 3 years ago, has not been an easy one.
The lesson from my situation is a struggle with my fertility. In the early part of my career, which was also for most women, your 20s and early 30s, your prime fertility years were also my career building years.
Duckworth spoke today at the Chicago Military Academy. She told me as a young Army officer, she did not feel she could take the time to raise children and still rise through the ranks. Then she got deployed to Iraq, got wounded, and when she was ready to start a family, she was 40. She downplays her being the first senator to have a baby while in office.
If we had more women serving, I think this would not be so pioneering.
Duckworth's pregnancy provides a platform to push for universal paid family leave, in part because she's not sure what she's entitled to.
Well, I'll take whatever I need, but the problem is, as the first sitting female senator to give birth in office, there are no policies in the Senate, so I'm actually trying to figure out what they're going to be.
But as she looks ahead to after Abigail's little sister is born, Duckworth is very clear about her Senate career plans.
Well, if it impacts it, it's only that I want to be there longer. I want to be there to really be able to make the change so that my daughters will grow up not knowing any boundaries, so that my daughters will grow up not having to make that choice between their profession and their fertility.
Parts of Paris are still underwater after some heavy rainfall. The River Seine flooded its banks this week. Police expect flooding to peak between tomorrow night and Monday morning. Residents are beginning to clean up the streets in an effort to prevent rats infections.
Well, seasonal averages this week, very close to what we saw this afternoon. Our high was 61 degrees, and this is about where the averages are going to be. But the numbers coming up this week, even starting tomorrow, are closer to this number right here. And the reason is high pressure just going to buckle over the area. That's going to block any systems from moving into the area, and that's going to make for those very warm temperatures. And even by tomorrow morning, looking pretty good. These are the coolest temperatures we're going to see around the Las Vegas Valley. So I'll tell you how warm it'll get in your neighborhood tomorrow, and also we're picking up some breezes for tomorrow, so I'll tell you what parts of town are going to see those breezes in your 13 First Alert forecast.
All right, thanks, Carla. Well, some prosthetic technicians in our state are taking the custom shop approach to helping amputees walk again. Terry Russell has the story from Reno.
Prosthetist Travis Humphreys and prosthetic assistant Josh Lorimer are making the beginnings of what will be a prosthetic leg. Josh helps make these devices for amputees just about every day. He also helps assisting patients get used to what it feels like to use a device that replaces the irreplaceable. Josh himself has been an amputee since he was 1 year old.
So every year they got to bring their dad in for show and tell, talk to him about being different. And it's okay to be different. If you want a leg
And that attitude has naturally flowed into his work. He can make prosthetic legs look much like a natural leg, or he can make a patient's favorite team and create a unique leg a sports fan would envy. A double amputee who was an avid sportsman asked for these legs to be built.
we could do it.
Josh is constantly challenging himself to come up with a prosthetic unique to him and something that will put a smile on his patient's face.
My wife and I were watching Back to the Future, and we saw the DeLorean time machine, and we thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to put a flux capacitor inside a prosthetic leg?
Didn't stop there. He has a speaker attached to his leg hooked up to his Bluetooth. He can not only play music, he can also answer his phone, hands-free if need be. He got the idea for this bottle opener from another patient's prosthetic leg. And with the new materials and electronics, there's no telling what designs he'll come up with in the years to come.
Well, if you see a cat riding on the hood of a red SUV, don't be alarmed. Someone reported seeing the cat on the hood of a car in Oregon that was driving slowly in the parking lot of a Taco Bell. The witness took video of it, called police, and talked to TV reporters. The 4-year-old domestic shorthair belongs to Jesse Dorset, along with 2 other cats. He says they wear safety gear when they're riding on the hood and always have on a leash and a harness.
I can make sure that they don't go too far forward, because I don't want them jumping forward in front of the car when it's moving. Of course, that would be really dangerous. So I keep them, and they normally just stay close to the windshield in the middle of the hood. And traveling a couple of miles an hour, they enjoy it.
Dorset says he never lets them ride on the hood at high speeds or on busy roads. Doctors say 1 millimeter made a life or death difference for a teenage boy in Maryland. He had a 6-inch screw lodged into his skull after an accident at home, but as Tom Rousey reports, the boy is already out of the hospital.
Darius Foreman smiled as he got out of Johns Hopkins Hospital Thursday on his 13th birthday. 5 days earlier, making it to 13 was in serious doubt.
I think a millimeter made a difference in this kid, whether he was going to live or die.
In decades as a neurosurgeon, Alan Cohen had never seen anything like it.
A young 12-year-old kid walking around with a heavy 5-foot 2x4 board screwed into his brain.
Darius fell while building a treehouse last weekend in Salisbury, somehow winding up like this. If he'd pulled it out, he'd have likely died. Local firefighters sawed the board down to 2 feet.
The problem was that there was still a big board that was impaled into his brain, and he couldn't fit in the medevac helicopter. So they had to wait and get another transport helicopter that was bigger.
When he got to Johns Hopkins, Cohen's wife, Dodie Robinson, also a neurosurgeon, got the board off, but there was still the screw.
We see the screw here coming down into the brain. So if we were to unscrew it, there could be torrential hemorrhaging.
Cohen's team drilled away bone down to the brain on both sides,
so that we could manipulate the screw.
They got it out. Darius is taking antibiotics, but he'll be fine.
You wouldn't know that this happened to him. You wouldn't know that he was a millimeter from death's door.
We're getting our first look at how first responders dealt with those deadly mudslides that hit Southern California. Dispatchers worked to help dozens of homeowners. Many of them were family from out of state. And action sports are taking the top spot. We'll have a look at which athletes are claiming gold at the Winter X Games. For the first time, we're seeing video of a harrowing ordeal during the deadly Southern California mudslides. 2 officers were headed to a fire when their patrol car got swept away. The dramatic moments were all caught on camera. John Palmentary shares their story.
I got very emotional because I realized that we almost lost 2 of our officers that morning.
This was an out-of-control California Highway Patrol unit swept away by mud and boulders in Montecito January 9th during an unfolding catastrophe. Captain Cindy Pons says her heart sunk seeing the dashcam video, but despite the helpless moments, an officer was able to get the vehicle going the right direction under its own power again.
I'm just so grateful and so thankful that they were able to get out of that and survived that mudslide incident.
Still recovering, the 2 officers in the vehicle see a pedestrian in the driving rain right where the mud is headed.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Go! Go!
Officers had been briefed the night before this incident about the forecasted mud flow dangers from this storm.
However, the officers were responding to the explosion and the structure fire, and you could see it in the video. You could see the fire in the background in the video, and they had no idea that that hillside was coming down on Olive Mill there.
They quickly re-engaged the incident and relayed information that led to a freeway shutdown.
There is a very active mudslide coming down Olive Mill towards the 101 right now. It overtook our vehicle as we were heading north on Olive Mill. We were able to barely escape, and we're down by the freeway now. But there's a lot of debris and a lot of flow coming down.
And nearby officers were also reporting dangerous conditions.
They're going to need loaders and equipment. Continuous procedure on the 192 is almost impossible.
Mike, get in the car! Mike, get in the car! Get in the car, Mike! Get in the car! Get in the car!
They were able to relay vital information to other units to shut down the freeway so we didn't have more people stuck or impacted and killed on the freeway. We didn't have anybody killed on the freeway.
These officers also told residents they saw to go back inside so they would not be hit by the mud flow.
They're absolute heroes in this, and they saved many lives.
Now, 13 First Alert Weather.
Well, no big surprises with these numbers. 21 days above average. That certainly includes today. We ran just a couple degrees above average. 4 below and 2 at. Yesterday was one of those days, but we haven't seen very many days at or below average. And we've definitely felt it. It has been so incredibly warm, and it's going to get even warmer than we saw this afternoon. Temperatures are going to be running 10 to 11 degrees above average for tomorrow and for the beginning of the week. Averages are at 59 and 60, 59 on Sunday, Monday, and then 60 degrees on Tuesday, Wednesday, and we are going to be feeling it, and temperatures are going to be close to the 70-degree mark. I'll show you those numbers in just a few seconds. First, here's 13 First Alert does their Doppler. You can see a little bit of a clearing with that high cloud cover that we saw throughout the day. From the wider perspective, very clear ridge of high pressure that is going to buckle over the area and essentially block any systems from coming into the area and cooling us back down. For tomorrow, we're going to pick up a little bit of a breeze. Right now, it is very, very quiet, completely quiet in northern portions of the valley, and you see in Boulder City 8-mile-per-hour winds. Now, by tomorrow morning, there's a 7 o'clock hour. You start to see a little bit of a shift in the wind speeds and a little bit of a breeze in northern portions of the valley and Red Rock. There's the 10 o'clock hour. By this time, you can see northerly winds, and they're sort of moving in as well from the northeast. 13-mile-per-hour winds in Ellis Air Force Base, 11 North Las Vegas, Boulder City at 13. So some parts of the valley will see breezes at that time. You can see even at the 1 o'clock hour and to the afternoon, there's 4 o'clock still very clearly moving in from that direction. That continues into the evening hour, but by Monday morning, you see them sort of shifting back to where they will be and where they are normal, which is more of a southern southwesterly direction, and then by then they'll look a lot calmer. So for tomorrow, I think parts of the valley, particularly in northern parts, are going to see gusts to about 25 miles per hour. By Monday, down to 15, and then it'll be quite quiet Tuesday, Wednesday, and for the rest of the week. Right now, temperatures in the 40s in Centennial Hills, 45 in Anthem, 49 Sunrise Manor, and 50 in Green Valley. highs are going to be right around the 70-degree mark, but the lows are going to be in the low to mid 40s. There you see Aliante 43 with an afternoon high of 68 degrees. Other parts of the valley, again, right under that 70-degree mark. Nellis Air Force Base and Sunrise Manor at 68. Rhodes Ranch 67 degrees. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow, but there you see that northerly breeze at Rhodes Ranch. And Green Valley 69 degrees. Anthem at 67, and a little bit farther to the east, remember Lake Mead and the Colorado River Valley will have that wind advisory in effect for tomorrow. Take that into consideration if you're doing any boating out there. And Boulder City at 70 degrees. 13 First Alert 7-day planner. Very consistent temperatures. If you like the 70-degree mark, you're going to love this 7-day planner with overnights generally in the mid 40s. Tom?
All right, thanks, Carla. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight in tonight's primetime lineup right here on ABC. Coming up next is Judge Judy, followed by Inside Edition at 10, 2020. Then stay with us for 13 Action News at 11. It's been nearly 2 years since legendary musician Prince died, but apparently his estate is releasing some new music. Find out when it could hit stores. Welcome back. They're the games with the insane tricks, the tricks that'll take your breath away. This year, the Winter X Games are expected to provide even more jaw-dropping moments. ABC's Zachary Quiche has more on the big names to watch.
The Winter X Games are all about going big and stretching the limits. It's all about redefining boundaries and checking your fear at the door as athletes battle it out on the mountain and in the air.
Oh, the X Games has a huge influence in my sport. I really think it's the backbone of action sports and snowboarding.
Backside rodeo, that's a new one for Jamie Anderson.
On Friday, high-flying Olympian Jamie Anderson returned to the X Games podium, claiming her 14th title.
That's a pretty color.
Big air, you only focus on one jump and doing your biggest tricks, so that's where progression happens.
Anderson's Olympic teammate, 17-year-old Haley Langland, will join her in Pyeongchang's big air and slopestyle events. The 5'3" giant won gold at the X Games last year in this memorable big air performance.
I definitely have a lot more time on the jump to do certain things as opposed to someone who are a little bit taller than I am.
Also 17, a rising star in the world of snowboarding, Chloe Kim. Already a legend in Aspen, she's going for her 4th X Games gold this year.
I want to do the best I can, and the halfpipe's amazing, so we'll see what happens.
And if you're looking for an underdog to root for, 22-year-old Torrin Yater Wallace is a good candidate, vying for a second shot at an Olympic medal.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast. Right now, here's a live look. Check out our beautiful valley on this Saturday night. You're watching 13 Action News, where we bring you breaking news fast and first. Stay with us. Welcome back. Well, some new music from Prince could soon be released. That's according to an advisor of his estate. It's expected to be some unreleased music. There's been no news of when that music would come out or which label might release the songs. Prince had a vault of unreleased music in his Paisley Park compound outside Minneapolis, but they've been moved to a climate-controlled storage facility in Los Angeles after it was discovered that some of those tapes had deteriorated. Well, you could say some pirates have come to claim their booty in Tampa, Florida. The city's annual Gasparilla Pirate Fest got underway today. The event is actually a reenactment of a historic pirate invasion. The pirates celebrate by throwing a huge party that includes live entertainment and a parade. The event has been a tradition in Tampa for decades.
That does look like a huge party, and we should throw a huge party because of our temperatures.
70s.
Yeah, take a look at that. Close to 70 degrees for the next 7 days. Yes, we will have a little bit of a breeze tomorrow, but I think we can survive a breeze with the temperatures that are coming our way, and we're just going to be very consistent and in our highs and in our overnight lows as well.
Like it's 70s, pool season almost here.
Almost.
Just hang on. That's our news for right now. Stay with us. Up next, we join Judge Judy, already in progress. We're always on at ktnv.com and our mobile app and Roku channel. We'll see you back here for Action News live at 11. Thanks for watching.